Nearly a week after our drooler-in-chief Joe Biden said if you don't agree with him on changing the Senate rules on the filibuster and/or federalizing elections, that you were no better than Democrat racists of the past like Bull Connor, George Wallace, and Jefferson Davis. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has added her own unhinged twist on the kind of person you allegedly are if you don't play nice with Democrats on these issues. With yesterday being MLK Day, Democrats are of course milking the opportunity the holiday presents to invoke the late civil rights icon's legacy when it comes to their pet projects. And that includes the so-called For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, both of which would be massive power grabs for Democrats if passed and signed into law by Joe Biden. Pelosi, flanked by family members of Martin Luther King as well as Congressional Black Caucus Chair Joyce Beatty, gave a press conference where the emphasis was on voting rights and how Democrat holdouts like Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, not mentioned by name, needed to get over their commitment to preserving the filibuster in the name of democracy or whatever. But during her remarks, Pelosi sounding, well, pretty much just like Joe Biden last week, stating that, quote, if you really truly want to honor Dr. King, don't dishonor him by using a congressional custom as an excuse for protecting our democracy, unquote. She went on to say that those who stand opposed to changing the filibuster, quote, have no right to honor this family, to visit the MLK monument. Seriously, that's what she said. We'll watch it in a minute. Moments later, she went full-on Crazy Joe, amping up the stupid, suggesting that founding father George Washington and Thomas Jefferson had, quote, tears in their eyes for the departure from our democracy that is happening right now, unquote. We'll watch the clip right after this quick commercial break to pay some bills. Do you have a personal butcher? I certainly don't. Well, until now, I introduced to you The Personal Butcher. They offer you the highest quality meats by partnering with best-in-class farms located in the United States. Okay, so here's how it works. They'll send you a custom box every 4 weeks, and you can pause or cancel at any time, or just change the frequency of deliveries. The Personal Butcher believes that quality meat shouldn't be a hassle to get your hands on. They want every home in America to have access to the best quality, and with the same convenience as getting the mail from your mailbox. So let's talk quality. They offer the best quality products raised here in the United States. Grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, anabolic-free pork. Their meat is 100% raised, processed, packed, and shipped in the United States. It's processed from family farms in Idaho, Montana, and Iowa. It's then packaged and shipped out of their Chicagoland area distribution center. So if you're interested in feeding yourself and your family from a high-quality source you can trust, while at the same time supporting this channel, give the Personal Butcher a try by hitting that link in the description box.
Because nothing less is at stake than our democracy. This is about suppressing the vote. It's about nullifying the elections, which Dr. King talked about that day. Nullifying the election. It's about just doing so many things to be obstacles to participation. That's wrong. The truth is, that's wrong. And this family and John Lewis, and so beautifully that this bill is named for him. But the first bill, he wrote the first 300 pages of what is now called freedom to vote. And as has been indicated by the King family, this bill is supported by all of the Democrats, House and Senate. It's just the filibuster in a way. So in a way, if you really truly want to honor Dr. King, don't dishonor him by using a congressional custom as an excuse for protecting our democracy. We have no right to honor this family, to visit the monument. Imagine 36 years old, left this earth in such a way that he has a monument on the mall along with Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all of them with tears in their eyes for the departure from our democracy that is happening right now, unless the truth is acknowledged, and this legislation is passed.
Okay, now first off, I'm a bit confused here. Last year we were told that monuments of our slave-owning founding fathers needed to be removed and confined to museums. Now we're being told that they have tears in their eyes over stalled voting rights bills or election rigging bills that Pelosi and other Democrats say in part are to make it easier for minorities to vote. You know, because according to Democrats, people of color are way too stupid to acquire state IDs and can't think far enough ahead to register to vote before the day of elections. You know, Democrats really need to make up their mind on just what insane direction that they want to go here. Secondly, though I can't speak to the thoughts of anyone who has departed this earth, I feel pretty certain that Martin Luther King would be deeply disappointed in the Democrats of today, including Nancy Pelosi, all of who seek to keep fanning the flames of racial division, not because they want to solve anything, but because it helps keep them in office and on the television, virtue signaling about how committed they are to civil rights. And thirdly, if Nancy Pelosi believes the Founding Fathers were all about putting our elections in the hands of the federal government, she's sadly mistaken. As George Washington Law School professor Jonathan Turley explained last summer in an op-ed. He stated when the Constitution was written, the framers expressly warned of the need to keep the federal government at bay in elections. South Carolina Constitutional Convention delegate Charles Pinckney noted that, quote, great care was used to provide for the election of the President of the United States independently of Congress, to take the business as far as possible out of their hands, unquote. It was done, he explained, because Congress, quote, had no right to meddle with it at all, unquote. Many framers feared the power of the central government and wanted to prevent the abuses of Great Britain and the use of executive powers. The view was reflected in the Electors Clause of Article 2, Section 1, which confines the power of Congress to determining, quote, the day on which electors give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States, unquote. Where Congress is left with the timing of such elections, states are left with the manner in which these elections are held. Not only did the state control over elections advance the purpose of decentralization of authority, it reflected the strong federalism principles in the Constitution. States were viewed as laboratories of democracy, with each pursuing different approaches to government functions, including elections. They also were closer to the voters, who could more readily change laws and policies on the state level. Wouldn't it be nice if Democrat leaders like Nancy Pelosi had even the bare minimum grasp of understanding regarding the political history they twist and rewrite for their low IQ free shit voters? But this is really all about narrative and whatnot, and branding your political opposition racists and traitors. That's why one day we need to take down statues of the bloodthirsty founding fathers because they were racist devils owning slaves and slaughtering Indians or something. And now, just a few months later, they are put right back up on their historical pedestal, believe it or not. If you listen to Nancy Pelosi tell it, right alongside, snuggled up close to Martin Luther King. Why? Because every day is an IQ test when you're a Democrat. Most of this came by way of redstate.com. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.